Hey, JTV Gamer here, or JTV, time for story time. Hello all you beautiful people out there. I am your host, JTV. As of recording of this, it's basically Sunday today as of me recording this. And I want to talk to you about a little about myself, because this is not a normal vlog that I'm doing. It's more of a kind of a story kind of vlog. I kind of want to try that out and try and grow my channel. But a little bit about my self is I grew up in a Christian household. My parents, they both were Christian, both made me attend church usually, but after I moved out and realized I don't really need to go to church to be a good person, and realized I don't really need to believe in something to be a good person. That's why in, I believe, 2010, I actually denounced my Christianity and became an atheist. But that is not why that's not what the story is mainly about. Sorry, got my notes here as well as the actual story that we're going to be talking about, but a little bit in a more modern sense. And before we get into that story, why don't you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, punch that notification bell. And on to the story. A youth pastor going from Chicago to Milwaukee is driving to like a Milwaukee kind of conference, or Christian conference, or as you say. And he's a youth pastor. He's driving down the highway. All of a sudden, he sees a bunch of carjackers, and the carjackers beat him up, kind of make him even in rough shape. And sorry about that phone. Make him in rough shape and steal his car. During that same time, or sort of a few hours later, a evangelical Jehovah's Witness comes by, or drives by, sees the guy the youth pastor is trying to wave to him, tries to wave to him, get his attention, but the Jehovah's Witness, they just zoomed by, didn't want nothing to do with it. A couple hours later, a evangelical pastor sees the youth pastor at the side of the road in rough shape, just zooms on by, same thing, zooms on by, and doesn't pay any attention to him. A couple hours later, an atheist driving the opposite way sees the youth pastor in rough shape, makes a U-E, and goes up to the youth pastor and says, "Are you okay, man? Like, do you need a hospital?" I said, yeah, I got stabbed. The youth pastor says, "I got stabbed. I need a hospital really bad." So the atheist decides to take a chance and says, come into my car, I'll take you to the hospital right away." And so the atheist drives him to the closest hospital where the youth pastor can actually get medical attention and help that he needs. And write in the comments below if you know, or if you are a Christian, or if you actually know this story from a certain Bible verse. And if you guess the Good Samaritan, you are right. And to be fair, that was my only kind of favorite Bible verse, because it said you don't really have to be religious, or more so you don't really have to be a religious person or even a person of faith to be a good person. And I to that day, that still is my favorite Bible verse. And if you actually want to know what verse it's I believe Luke 30 no wait, Luke 25 to 37. So why don't you go look that up? And I sort of put in a little modern day sense because, you know, Christianity wasn't around when the Bible actually was written, or, well, you know, Christianity was around during that time. But I'm just going to wrap it up here saying, just because you are a good person, just because you don't believe in God, doesn't mean you can't be a good person. And meaning, you know, Christianity, just because you're a Christian, you can still be terrible. A terrible person sometimes, yeah. So, I'm going to wrap this up saying, hope you guys like this video, like that little story I did in a little modern day sense. JTV, signing off.